The voice of women, the voice of women, 91.7.
The global community is ravaged and locked down by the novel virus COVID-19, and there has been global corporate-private call for action to bring an end to the pandemic coronavirus. The federal and state government of Nigeria has been proactive in putting measures in place to curb the spread of coronavirus in Nigeria, one of which is a lockdown in some states of the Federation. This lockdown had raised serious concerns for Nigerians as to what controls the government has put out for citizens and the way forward. This is the big question on Women Radio WFM917, where we discuss and provide solutions to issues affecting us as a nation and citizens. My name is Toun, Okewale, Sonaiya, and on the big question this morning, we are delighted to have with us over the telephone the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Good morning, Alhaji.
Good morning, Mrs. Sonaiya. How are you doing?
I'm very good, sir. And you, how are you?
I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us. So, Alhaji, what is the current situation of COVID-19 in Nigeria as at this morning? I know that the UK, the US, and others are struggling to contain the virus. The death toll keeps rising, even in Nigeria, even though the World Health Organization has acknowledged Nigeria in managing this very well. What is the current situation? Is there a possibility to extend the 2-week lockdown?
Well, thank you. The latest information from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control is that Nigeria now has 232 confirmed cases with 5 deaths. 33 people have been successfully treated and discharged, bolstering our belief that contracting COVID-19 is not necessarily a death sentence. One should not be stigmatized because he has contracted the disease. As to whether or not the lockdown will be extended, I will say this. This will depend on all of us. As I said in another forum, if we all don't strictly observe the lockdown directed by Mr. President, we should not blame the government if it decides to extend the lockdown. This is a matter of life and death, and no government can afford to play with it. Lockdown does not mean vacation and that life should continue as normal. However, let me say that only Mr. President can say whether or not the lockdown will be extended or not. Whatever decision he takes, I want to assure you, will be in the overall interest of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. This is a big question on Women Radio 91.7. I'm talking to Honorable Minister of Information and Culture in Nigeria, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, on the state of the nation regarding COVID-19. You said it's not a death sentence. Thank you very much. So MSMEs, Alhaji, are mostly affected with this lockdown. Most have had to ask staff to stay at home without pay. Women, we know, make up a big percentage of this sector as we rely on daily revenue. So what interventions and capital infusion is government putting in place to support MSMEs to ensure that the workforce stay actively ready for work and that we maintain spend, which is the only way to get out of recession? Also, is there a stimulus package for private hospitals currently helping to provide succor to Nigerians in this COVID-19 time?
Well, there's no doubt that women constitute a big percentage of the micro, small and medium enterprises. They also, as you know, constitute a good percentage of the beneficiaries of the government social intervention programs, social investment programs, especially trader money, farmer money, and market money. Naturally, therefore, they also constitute a chunk of the beneficiaries of these of those loans. It is therefore reasonable to believe that they will benefit from the directive by Mr. President that a 3-month moratorium be maintained for all trader money, market money, and farmer money loans. A similar moratorium has also been given to all federal government funded loans issued by the Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, and the Nigerian Export-Import Bank. As you know, women also constitute a good percentage of the beneficiary of these loans. Finally, as you will know, the central bank has also introduced the 50 billion targeted credit facility as a stimulus package to support household and micro, small, and medium enterprises affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This, again, of course, will also benefit women. As for the private hospitals, you remember that the central bank, part of its 1.1 trillion stimulus package is actually part of it, a huge percentage of it is actually available to the healthcare system. And I want to take this opportunity to salute the courage and sacrifices being made by the health sector, because they are frontline soldiers in this particular battle. And I want to also say that Mr. President and Nigeria will appreciate what we are doing. That is why we have also put together an insurance package, ranging from, life, in case of death, in case of permanent disability. So you can see that within what is practicable, within what is sustainable, the federal government is addressing the issue of women, entrepreneurs, and also the healthcare system.
I've had quite a number of texts coming in, and it's in response to what you're talking about. A lot are saying that the palliative and the relief measures are not getting to the right person. Some feel this is politicized. That's Chike from Akuti. Another also said that this is a government that is known to fight corruption, but it looks like the palliative is being politicized and it's not getting to the right person. He actually proffered a situation where could BVM through banks have been the best. And that is from Barrister Ugo Osuji. I mean, I can also talk on behalf of SMEs, MSMEs, which Women Radio falls into one of them. It is pretty difficult for women and Nigerians. We have Nigerians who are in the bracket of working class, and it's like they're diving down into the poverty index because of what is happening. What would you say to that, sir?
I can tell you there's absolutely no truth in the allegation that the government is trying to politicize the issue of palliatives. You must not forget that in the last 3.5 years, 4 years, through our SIP program, we've been running school feeding programs, conditional cash transfer, and the Bank of Industry has also been giving out, loans on our behalf to small, medium enterprises. Now, so for anybody, and you see, also over time, we've had a data of those that have been considered to be the most vulnerable, those that need these services, and we've continued to do so. So whatever we do now has been is based on those parameters. And these parameters were arrived at closely working with not just Bank of Industry, but also the World Bank. So for people to come out now and say, oh, we are politicizing the palliative, I think it's grossly unfair. It's the same template we've been using the last 3-4 years that we have continued to use. The only thing we have done is that we are now trying to expand the data in a bit, so that it would, address the particular issues that have been brought up by COVID. And please don't let's forget that COVID, by the grace of God, is a pandemic that will disappear very soon, and we are going to go back to our template. We are going to go back to our social investment program, which is aimed at ensuring that palliatives and help and succor will reach the most vulnerable Nigerians.
This is the big question on Women Radio, WFM917. My name is Toun, Okewale, Sonaiya. I'm talking to the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Now, Alhaji, there has been a rise in gender-based violence this last few days as a result of women having to be locked down at home with perpetrators or potential perpetrators. We had a program on Women Radio, Safe Space. 95% of calls and messages came from women suffering violence-induced depression, mental health breakdown, anxiety from partners. Some can just cope, stress. So, are there any measures in place by the federal government to mainstream violence and create a safe space for women during COVID-19? The reason I ask this question is, a lot of agencies, women groups, CSOs, they're putting out their resources, their time to support women at this time. So what is the government, what is the federal government doing to mainstream violence and create a safe space for women during COVID-19?
First, let me say right away that this government has zero tolerance for anyone engaging in gender-based violence, whether before now or right now, whether before COVID-19 or during COVID-19 or even in the future. This is just totally unacceptable to us. And I can assure you that the long arm of the law will catch up with anyone who engages in gender violence. We don't have to wait for times like this when COVID-19 is rampaging before we deal with perpetrators according to the law of the land. And I'm glad to say that there is various laws and several states have actually risen up to this challenge. It's unfortunate that the COVID-19 lockdown has provided an opportunity for those perpetrators. But I want to assure you that the government will not rest on its laurels, and COVID-19 or no COVID-19, the government will continue to protect our female citizens. There will be serious repercussions for offenders, I can assure you, and those who will see this lockdown opportunity to engage in gender-based violence, to them we say desist. Otherwise, there will be very, very serious repercussions.
Thank you. This is Women Radio, the big question. Now, Alhaji, I want to go to the north, okay? Northern Nigeria seems left behind in this fight against COVID-19. We are aware and have been told that some children still go to school. The men are not staying at home. They are not social distancing at all. In fact, he said that a chunk percentage in the north say coronavirus is not real. So last Wednesday, my colleague Bukola had Hafsat Dange from Sokoto and Aisha Fake in Abuja. She had both of them on radio, and they expressed, they're from the north, the northern women. They expressed concerns about the north, including the grassroots. Hafsat actually called on the federal government to enforce a total lockdown in the north. Aisha, on the other hand, said we need more radio jingles, an announcement in Hausa to sensitize. At this point in time, I'm wondering what the National Orientation Agency is doing in passing appropriate messages to the rural and vulnerable communities and groups in our society.
I want to state here that no part of Nigeria is left behind in the fight against COVID-19. We simply can't afford to leave any part behind because our fate is intertwined. If this virus is not contained in any part of the country, Nigeria cannot be free from it. That is why we have intensified our advocacy and public enlightenment campaign in order to reach all the nooks and crannies of the country. Yes, there have been some breaches in some parts of the country, in Katsina and Plateau states especially, in Lagos state, but the National Orientation Agency quickly took measures to ameliorate the situation. The agency has been producing and pushing jingles, not just in English and Pidgin, but also in Hausa, in Igbo, in Yoruba, in Fulde, and other major languages in order to reach the grassroots. The agency has also used a vast network across the country to take the sensitization program to the grassroots by engaging with leaders, by engaging traditional rulers, by working together with the state and local government authorities. Don't forget that MOA has presence in all the 774 local governments of the country, and they've been working with the environmental officers, the health officers in all these local governments. I can say without equivocation that there is no part of Nigeria which has not had about coronavirus, and we will continue to carry out our advocacy and sensitization program to keep our people more informed about the disease and how they can protect themselves. We will continue to convey to them the need to observe social distancing and other, non-pharmaceutical intervention to contain the spread of the disease. And I want to take an opportunity also to thank a lot of private initiatives, who have also in their own, come out with a lot of jingles on the social media, on television, on radio. So for everybody to say that the NOA is shirking its responsibility, I think it's being grossly unfair. Yes, we can. The jingles can never be enough. The sensitization can never be enough. The advocacy can never be enough until we overcome the pandemic. But right now, I know that the NOA is engaged, and the thing about the organization is to engage, with the grassroots, sensitization of this pandemic.
Alhaji, thank you very much. It's 26 minutes to 10. This is a big question on Women Radio 91.7. My name is Toun, Okewale, Sonaiya. I have quite a number of questions from the feminist group of Nigeria, and I will take one or two of them. But at this point in time, I want to ask, what lessons have we learned as a nation from COVID-19 restrictions that will make us work to build our abandoned health sector? Surely this is a wake-up call for Nigeria to intensify efforts at revamping our total manufacturing base.
Thank you, Mrs. Sonaiya. First, our health sector has not been abandoned. So I don't agree with the characterization that we have abandoned our health sector. We may not yet be there in terms of building first-class health facilities, but to say the health sector is abandoned, I think is not correct. For example, the federal government only recently designated 7 of its federal tertiary health institutions as oncology centers of excellence, with a view to upgrading them to manage cancer and cancer-related illnesses. Some institutions, are the University of Benin Teaching Hospital in Benin, the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Lagos and the University Hospital in Ibadan. Others are, University Teaching Hospital in Enugu, and just one time for the University Teaching Hospital in Sokoto, and the American University Teaching Hospital in Zaria, and also the National Hospital in Abuja. Each of these institutions are being provided with newly acquired brachytherapy machines and CT simulators to enable them to commence treatment after their installation. We are also training, personnel to enhance the skills and increase the number of personnel in radiotherapy, for instance. Having said that, I must say that the lessons learned from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic will definitely translate to better medical facilities for Nigerians. Already, we are aware that the federal government has put before the National Assembly a request for $500 million for 500 billion coronavirus disease crisis intervention fund. This is actually meant to ensure that we have a first-class healthcare system. And I want to also say that a lot of the private sector have also intervened, and for instance, I know that the Nigeria Economic the NESG, they are leading a campaign with a promise to about 120 billion naira for the government so that the government will use it to build infrastructures. I mean, healthcare infrastructure. I know that some banks are already building isolation centers and ICU units for the federal government. I know that in Abuja today, I think the Sahara Energy in conjunction with NMPC are building 129-bed hospitals with ICU units. So yes, I think the thing about the pandemic is that it caught the entire world, by surprise because of its nature, and everybody is learning its lesson from this pandemic. And I can assure that the post COVID-19 will have a much more improved healthcare system in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I mean, quite a number of people have spoken about post-COVID-19, and for us to really see what comes out of that. As I said, Alhaji, I have quite a number of questions from the feminist group. One of them says there was a statement alluded to you. Again, it's just alluded to you. I'm not saying this is it. You said COVID-19, no Nigerian is hungry. We have dispersed 100 billion to poor Nigerians. That was alluded to you. And the feminist group of Nigeria says, please ask Alhaji Lai Mohammed to explain the statement. Another comment came here and said, for the 200 million Nigerians, everyone will get 1 million to support their homes during the COVID-19 lockdown. That's less than the billions that you were talking about. And of course, the last one that I'm going to take on the feminist group says, please, we need specifics on dealing with gender-based violence. As in, we know the federal government has a zero tolerance, like you said, but what are the specifics? We need proper coordination. Feminist group says, what organization is coordinating efforts? Women are being kicked out of their homes. What measures have been put in place? So these are just some of the questions I will pick, and I hope you can just wrap up on that, sir.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sonaiya. In respect of the first, allegation, it's fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. There was nowhere I got an interview that Nigeria, the federal government has spent 100 billion naira in 24 hours. We have traced the source of the fake news to a particular website, and the authorities are dealing with it. As to the other question, I think it's almost related to the first one. I mean, the mathematics of how much 100 billion will go around to 100 million people. I think it's neither here nor there. Now, the issue that I think we take seriously, and I take personally seriously, is the issue of gender-based violence. Like I say, it's reprehensible, it's totally unacceptable, and not only do we have enough laws in the country, but I think we need the cooperation of everybody, including the victims, to enforce these laws. I remember as a young lawyer, I came across some of these kind of cases, and sometimes you will be amazed at the kind of societal, reaction, thinking that it is wrong for a wife to take a husband to court. No, we must stop all this. We must realize that we have daughters also, and we have daughters also, and we have mothers. I can turn a wife into punching back, whatever might be the disagreement. I think any man that does that is a coward. That's my personal view. But of course, the issue is that there are laws in place, and I must commend many states, especially Lagos State, that have various courts, to handle this. One can go to other states also to go ahead and ensure that, unless we protect our female population, we will not be taking. I mean, there can be no progress. The bulk of taking care of children, the bulk of societal need is borne by women. Why must we turn them into punching bags? Why must we vent our frustrations out on them? It's unacceptable, either on a personal level or on a social level or on the public level. And the government will ensure the protection of the feminine gender. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So many questions that I can't ask. It may be worth engaging the CSOs in Nigeria to really work with you in dealing with issues of gender-based violence. It may be worth exploring that. I've been talking to Alhaji Lai Mohammed. is the Honorable Minister, Information and Culture in Nigeria. It's the big questions on Women Radio. My name is Toun. Alhaji, can we have your final call to Nigeria and the Nigerian media?
Well, to Nigerians, I say please continue to observe social distance. Please self-isolate if you have been in contact with any suspected case, and call us if you develop any symptoms while in isolation. But there's no need to panic. I want to assure you, federal government working with the states is on top of things in stopping the spread of COVID-19. To the media, I say please show great responsibility and restraint in reporting the pandemic. Avoid sensationalization, avoid stigmatization, and eschew fake news. This is because if you start to sensationalize, you start to stigmatize people who have the symptoms. They will come out for testing. They will just go and hide somewhere and they are going to infect other people. Fake news, of course, again, is competing with coronavirus for attention since the outbreak of this disease. I've just told you, I've been a victim several times. I'm going to be a victim, and I think the media should depend on the official channels in getting the information. The Royal Task Force, for instance, has been addressing the media on a daily basis in order to provide up-to-date and authentic information on the pandemic. The Center for Disease Control has also been providing regular updates on its website and social media platforms. There's therefore absolutely no reason whatsoever for anyone to peddle fake news or to engage in misinformation. And to Nigerians, once again, please, where there's a lockdown, let's stay at home. Let's obey social distancing. Let's obey our, let's observe our personal, hygiene rules. Wash your hands, and if we do this in a short time, we'll overcome the pandemic. I thank you very much.
Alhaji, there's been quite a number of messages. We're hoping that you would forward this on to your office and you'll be able to respond on text, on Twitter, on Facebook. But on a personal note, how is our president?
He's doing very, very well. I'm so worried about this fake news. And I want to reiterate that those who are bent on distracting the government through fake news from its focused efforts to combat COVID-19, they have not relented. Honestly, it's quite discerning, and we cannot be, combating COVID-19 on the one hand, also be spending enough as much time also combating, fake news. I think we just hope that those people will desist from distracting government.
Thank you very much. So the charge is for Nigerians to try not to, listen to fake news. It kills, it destroys. Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Honorable Minister for Information and Culture, we thank you very much for joining us. I hope that we'll be able to have you again. The feminist group of Nigeria, they really want to engage you in a few conversations. And we have so many messages on text, ordinary Nigerians wanting to talk to you. We're hoping that we can have this conversation again. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Anytime, let me know when you want to have this conversation, and we'll resume the conversation. Thank you very much.
We're very grateful. Have a good day. We're very grateful.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. The fight against the spread of COVID-19 is the collective responsibility of the government, you and I. So let us adhere to the lockdown directive. Let's self-isolate, social distance, wash your hands regularly with soap and water for a minimum of 20 seconds, sneeze and cough into your elbow, and if you feel feverish with a high temperature, please self-isolate immediately and call relevant numbers. We believe that if we follow all precautionary measures, together we will defeat COVID-19. I thank the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, for being part of the big question on Women Radio 91.7. Please remember to continue to be a patriotic Nigerian. Thank you to the producer, Bukola Balogun. I am Toun Okewale Sonaiya. I'm always proudly Nigerian. Up next is Radio Doctor.
The Voice of Women, 91.7 WFM 91.7.